Let's bring in our good buddy, Jeff Van Gundy. He's been working the playoffs. Obviously, it was a great first round. Jeff, it's Michael and Don. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Can you make a convincing argument that the Nets could beat the Heat in the series?
I don't know if it could be convincing, but, I mean, the path to victory, would have to be their perimeter players are dynamic. And Williams, Johnson, I'm interested to see if Jason Kidd goes back to Sean Livingston in the starting lineup or continues on with Allen Anderson. And I think Plumlee at the basket, we saw the block of in the last regular season game, but the ability to drive and then dish to someone who's not shooting a jump shot but is getting some dunks at the rim is critical as well. So the path to them getting there is defend effectively, and their perimeter players all having really good series.
Why did it take so long to beat the Raptors, Jeff? Is that more of a compliment to the Raptors or something that might not be right with this Nets team?
Well, I don't think it's anything. First of all, if you go on the road and win a Game 7, historically happens very few times. I thought it was a terrific performance by the Nets getting that lead. Now, you can argue they didn't handle the lead down the stretch well, but invariably the home team makes that emotional rush back, and they made enough plays to win. So I think Toronto's a little bit better than people are giving them credit for because they don't see them very often, and they don't have a lot of recognizable names that you equate with being a real good team. But I thought they were a very good team, and I think it was an outstanding win by Brooklyn. And now I'll be interested to see if, with just a day in between, this whole rest versus rust type of argument, can the Nets keep that high and go in there and play an outstanding first game as Miami tries to find itself again and possibly win Game 1? Or is there an emotional letdown by the Nets and the Heat just cruise in Game 1?
Jeff, you mentioned Plumlee. He was surpassed by Blatch in the last 2 or 3 games of the Raptors series. Do you think that Jason Kidd's going to keep that going, or is he going to reinsert Plumlee in against the Heat because of his size?
You know what? I think that's the beauty of the roster the Nets have, and I've been impressed with how Kidd is unafraid to change when he feels it's necessary. You look at Karolinko plays big minutes some games, not so much the other games, and not at all in one of the playoff games. Garnett played a lot more yesterday. Blatch instead of Plumlee. I wouldn't be surprised to see Plumlee back in there. One, they need somebody to be able to protect the rim with James and Wade attacking the basket. And then secondly, like I said, when you get dribble penetration, there's not a lot of shot blocking for the Heat. So when you drop the ball off to your center, as either Haslam or Bosch come to help, you have to have some guys who can finish over the top with some dunks, strong layups, not always jump shots.
All right, we talked about this with the Knicks, who beat the Heat 3 out of 4. We're talking about it again with the Nets, winning all 4 in the regular season. We throw it out there, but I want to hear it from you as a former coach in this league. The playoffs are different. Give us some examples on what the Nets will face in Miami that they didn't during the course of the regular season.
Well, again, I think you can't just go, when you're looking at the film, if you're Jason Kidd and his staff, you're not looking at the end result. You're looking at how Miami guarded you and what you can try to exploit better. And then defensively, how they tried to attack you and how you must defend better and what matchups you like. Because the regular season, there are different points in every season where certain teams, schedule-wise, are hitting a better part of their schedule. Others are hitting more difficulty, whether it's back-to-backs or a lot of games in very few days. Maybe you're having a rough time injury-wise. So I don't think you look at the results and take either heart that, hey, we could beat this team. We beat them 4 games in the regular season, or lose belief because maybe you weren't successful in the regular season against a certain team. All you're looking for is ideas on how to attack and how to defend a certain team. And then after game 1, you're going to be able to make even more adjustments.